Yo everyone, my name is Nikias. Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. Today, I'm going to tell you why you should hit the subscribe button, and I want to share some of my personal story and how I've got here. I'm a trans man, an online trainer, and a certified nutritionist. I was born in Italy, hence the accent, but I've lived in the UK since 2015, hence why I tend to speak British English, with the odd Americanism thrown in there for reasons that will become apparent later, so keep watching. Anyway, I've been helping hundreds of clients of all genders change their physique, mindset, and lifestyle since 2019. I highly recommend, in my not so humble opinion, that you subscribe to this channel for 3 different reasons. Number 1, if you like educational content that's based on both the current scientific evidence and my personal and professional experience working with over 100 clients. Number 2, if you want to change your physique, mindset, lifestyle, and habits for the long haul instead of yo-yo dieting. Number 3, if you're interested in improving your health, gaining muscle, losing fat, and nurturing your relationship with food and exercise through adequate nutrition and training. I have had a blog, a weekly newsletter, and a weekly audio podcast for years. And I've also recently been resharing my IG Reels to YouTube for a while. But this is my first official long-form YouTube video. So thank you so much for checking it out. It really means a lot. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, if you are interested in one-to-one online coaching with me, or if you'd like to purchase a custom program without coaching, check out my website or send me an email. All of the links are in the video notes below. Anyway, I'm going to delve into my personal story now, because it is deeply entangled with my passion for fitness and coaching. And spoiler alert, there's going to be talk of an eating disorder involved. So you may not want to listen to that part or to watch that part if you're not in the right headspace for it. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Growing up, I was an overweight girl. In fact, I distinctly remember one of my highlights, so to speak, from my middle school years. And this was one day when a classmate of mine, another boy, approached me to tell me that I was cool, but that he didn't find whales attractive. And clearly I was the whale in this situation. And when I hit the age of around 14, I decided that I wanted to do something about the situation. I didn't feel good about my body and my weight. So I went on my first weight loss diet, and I had absolutely zero knowledge beyond eat less and exercise more. And it went a little bit too well. I lost far more weight than I needed to, and what started out as a way to feel better about myself turned into a restrictive eating disorder. I was never formally diagnosed or hospitalized, but it corresponded to all of the criteria that they use to diagnose anorexia nervosa. As part of that, I fell for all of the fads circulating at the time, circa 2012-2013. First off, I was doing a lot of cardio, and I developed a long list of fear foods that didn't seem healthy enough to me, or that I was worried would make me regain the weight that I was losing. I only ate at specific times of day, at very regular intervals, in order to stoke my metabolism. I didn't eat carbs at night, and I was obsessed with it all. If I couldn't follow my very strict rules, I would have a legit mental breakdown. I once burst into tears because I couldn't have lunch at exactly noon while I was on a road trip with my dad. This is just to give you an example of how bad it truly was. I missed out on so many social events because I was afraid that I would be invited to partake in food that I, at the time, was afraid to eat. Or I missed out on them because I wanted to exercise instead, and I was over-exercising. I did not have a good relationship with the type of movement that I was engaging in. I was only doing it to lose weight at first and then to maintain the weight loss. I was really scared of, in my view, losing the progress that I had made. And it got even worse. Between 2013 and 2014, I hit literal rock bottom. While I was staying with a host family in America for 6 months as an exchange student, hence the Americanisms, I saw the lowest weight on the scale that I had ever seen, and it really scared the shit out of me. That was the day when I stepped on that scale and I saw that number that I realized I had to recover from this hole that I had dug myself. So, as I always do, I started researching the hell out of eating disorders to understand eating disorder itself and why I had developed one, so that I hoped I would be able to also recover from it. But I was really confused because I couldn't relate to any of the girls with anorexia whose blog I came across. I didn't want to maintain the eating disorder behaviors to be pretty or ethereal or graceful, which are all words that they were using in these blogs. Fast forward to 2018, the real reason why I developed the eating disorder, among others, finally dawned on me. My motivation for wanting to be as small as I was that in that shape, my chest was flat and I lost my period. I looked more like a boy. And it was indeed in 2018 that I came out as trans. At that point, I was at a stable, healthier weight for my size because I had spent a few years trying to regain weight to get healthier. But I was still obsessed with cardio and I was still afraid of weight gain. At the time, I was trying to follow an intuitive eating approach, but I wasn't doing it the right way. Importantly, intuitive eating, done right, is an intervention that requires a professional. And I was no professional. I was in my early 20s, I was in undergrad for creative writing and media. I didn't have any knowledge about fitness the way that I do now. That intuitive eating DIY approach did benefit me because it helped me start eating a lot of my previous fear foods again, but I still wasn't happy with my physique or my relationship with fitness. So in June 2018, after I came out, I set 2 goals for myself. The first was that I wanted a better relationship with food, and I wanted to find a form of movement that I genuinely enjoyed, because cardio at the time was not it, due to my disordered mindset around it. And the second goal was that I wanted to build, not destroy, my physique, in order to fit the vision that I had for myself and the gender that I identified with. Once again, since I'm a nerd, I decided to dive deep into research on training and nutrition. And I had the good fortune to come across Dr. Eric Helms and his Muscle and Strength Pyramids books. So from the beginning of my bodybuilding experience, I've been deeply entrenched in the evidence-based community. I used my budding knowledge to write myself my very first baby training program, and I started lifting at home with a pair of adjustable dumbbells. I found lifting weights transformative from day one. I loved it so much more than I ever did cardio. I fell in love with the science behind it, and it helped me feel like I was finally building the physique that I wanted, and I was caring for it after everything that it had gone through during the eating disorder years. I also started tracking calories and macros and weighing myself every day. And for others, these tools may not be helpful. And in fact, I'm very careful with my clients to choose the tools that are best for them in that season of life, from a psychological as well as practical standpoint. But for me, at that time in my life, calorie and macro tracking and weighing myself regularly were crucial tools to help me overcome my irrational fear of eating certain foods and of gaining weight. Within a few months, I became so passionate about the bodybuilding lifestyle and the science around it that my main physique goal was no longer to build a gender-affirming body. I had actually become a major fan of bodybuilding as an endeavor in and of itself, and that is still what drives me today. It's not so much the desire to lift and shape my body to feel like a man, because I know now I am very secure in my identity as a man, and that doesn't have anything to do with whether I have muscle or whether I don't, and whether I lift or whether I don't. But I do simply love the process of bodybuilding, and I find it so fascinating that by changing how we eat, changing how we train, taking care of our sleep and managing our stress, we actually have so much power over changing the very cells in our body. I think that is absolutely beautiful. And within 4 months, of falling in love with bodybuilding and realizing how much it was going to change my life, and it already had by that point, I decided that I wanted to become a coach. So I began studying to become a certified personal trainer in September 2018, and I became certified in 2019, and I have continued to accumulate courses, certifications, attending events and workshops, and continuing my education ever since in an attempt to strive to be the best coach that I can possibly be. Anyway, I'm going to give you the TLDR version of my bodybuilding journey so far because I've been deeply into it since 2018. It's been over 7 years at this point. So, between 2018 and 2025, I've done 4 major cuts and 2 mini cuts. And a mini cut is a shorter and more aggressive version of a longer, more moderate cut. And I coached myself through all of these cutting phases. 2 of the longer and more moderate cutting phases were actually photo shoot preps, where the goal was to get as lean as possible for those pictures. My first one took place in 2021, and I did get quite lean in hindsight, but at the time, I really wasn't happy with it because I thought that I stopped short. I stopped dieting a little bit too early, and I could have gotten even leaner. So I prepped again in 2022. I was thirsty for revenge, and that's when I achieved my best body composition to date, and I am super proud of that particular photo shoot. I've also done 4 bulks, the longest of which was my first one, which lasted about a year and a half. And to be perfectly honest with you, bulking has always been more difficult for me than cutting, primarily from a psychological standpoint. And in fact, my first attempt at bulking was a disaster because I got into this vicious cycle. I would increase my calories by 100 above maintenance, then the scale would predictably go up a little the next week. I would freak out and I would bring my calories back down again. So I ended up gaining no weight and going round and round in circles like a hamster on a wheel. This lasted 6 months after my first cut, until unfortunately I got injured in the gym and I spent a month unable to train. And that month lit a fire under my ass because when I was clear to exercise again, I told myself, now we bulk for real. And that's when the year and a half long bulk began. Throughout these bulking and cutting cycles, I hired 2 bodybuilding coaches who helped me learn from their own methods and to put myself in my clients' shoes, which has made me a far better coach. I then prepped myself for my own top surgery in 2024, and I still have the honor to do the same for many clients to date. I also had to go through some health phases. For example, I had a whole year of dealing with major gut issues that vastly compromised my ability to bodybuild. And in fact, I hired my second coach to help me restore my gut health, which she did an amazing job with. And she taught me a lot about this topic along the way, so that now I also have the honor and privilege to help my clients with it if need be. Long story short, I've experienced a lot of different stages of the bodybuilding or physique development process in the last 7+ years. This has helped me become a better and more knowledgeable coach. It has helped me gain perspective on what it's like for my clients to go through those exact same phases that I go through. And it has helped me grow as a person, for which I am grateful to bodybuilding and I'm proud of myself. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.